is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 35 knee-jerk stream. Game Week 34 is far from over, which is a good thing for me because I'm doing terrible and I'm hoping that things can only get better. I know I tweeted earlier on that I didn't know if I was doing this stream tonight, but it's here. We're going live. I'm warm and sat out in the sun most of the afternoon. I've got the fan on. Hopefully it's not too loud on the microphone. And I'm on 39 points. 39 points. Terrible. So many small decisions have just gone against me. But I did get double Arsenal defense and Solanke goals, so that's nice. And Eze 11 point. But Eze is so highly owned, it doesn't really matter. But to get an own goal from Henderson, the original plan was to get Pickford as well. And what's he on? Like a 9-pointer or something like that? And then I got, back in Game Week 31, I took a hit to get Salah, and I involved that hit by getting Darwin Nunez. I could have kept Foden and just got Mateta instead. Oh, the amount of points I've lost by selling Phil Foden, it's just been really bad. But there's still plenty of time. Free hit 34 strategy, better than 29. My days. Can we stop going on about it? Honestly. The thing is, if I'd gone for Pickford instead of Henderson, I'd probably be on a green arrow right now without free hit 34. So, I don't know. Another thing as well is I went Van Dijk instead of Trent. I deserved that. Absolutely deserved to be down on points for that. So, literally a couple of decisions and things are probably going pretty well. But as it stands, I'm on a red arrow. I'm still in the top 50k, but I'm 48k now. I've gone down 10,000 places. So, pretty poor. My bench boost is active, but I haven't really put a draft together yet, not properly. I just made a couple of literally. If you look at my team, I've made 2 transfers. I think I can't bring myself to sell my Arsenal players yet, which is part of the reason. I basically put Onana in goal and sold Eze for Gordon and brought Eze back, and that's it. I've literally not made hardly any transfers. I haven't got my Newcastle players in place or anything. Trent double Arsenal defense. Elise and Mateta just saved my season. 79 points. That is insane. With all 11 left to play. Yeah, this week's not gone well for me. Sarabia 1 point. Salah didn't start. Darwin didn't start. Saka blank. It's been terrible. You mean wildcard? You said bench boost. Yeah. Bench boost Game Week 37. But yeah, it's just a knock on from earlier moves. The Pickford one hurts, honestly, because that was the original plan. I said a few weeks ago I was going to get Pickford, and I switched to Henderson because of the fixtures, because Everton had to play Liverpool, and they've gone and got a clean sheet against Forest. Killer, honestly. And Trent versus Van Dijk. Trent was the differential, wasn't he? Trent was the big differential. And I bottled it. How brutal would that Henderson own goal been if he was on for a clean sheet? I mean, it's still pretty brutal either way. To be on -1 from a double game week goalkeeper is not nice. I could have literally played Neto and be 2 points up. It's just one of those things. And the thing is, I don't think my team is that bad, really. I really don't. It's just a couple of decisions have gone terribly. Darwin Nunez is just... I don't think I've had like good points from him all season. I've bought him in like 3 times. It's never gone well, ever. And now it's even worse because Jota's done brilliantly today, obviously. So, yeah, if you're on free hit and you've got triple Crystal Palace or even just double attack, Elise or Mateta, you're absolutely smashing it. Even if you went like double Arsenal attack instead of double Arsenal defense, it's pretty nice. Yeah, if you honestly, if you're on Eze, Mateta, and Elise, whew, that's filth, absolute filth, honestly. As a Pickford owner, the clean sheet was very lucky with all those penalties not given. Well, yeah, Nottingham Forest don't seem very happy. I'll be honest, I've not seen that game. I haven't seen the decisions yet. I need to catch up on the highlights. It was my son's birthday yesterday, so plenty of celebrations over the last couple of days. So I've not been able to watch as much football as I wanted to, or would usually do. I did see the Man United game, most of it today, and I don't even want to talk about that, even though we went through. Don't even want to talk about it. Terrible. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like this stream is going to be all over the place, more so than normal. Forest weren't good, but robbed the penalties. Yeah, maybe they should have had at least one. I didn't see the Palace game, no. I saw the constant goal alerts, though. Oh, it's such a killer. I mean, could it all turn around in the second round of games? I mean, Sarabia should start. Salah and Darwin hopefully will start. Salah definitely. Darwin probably. I need a Palace clean sheet. I think I'm going to be behind either way. And I've got to be honest with you. I'm pretty pessimistic about Wildcard 35. I don't think it's going to be this big gain in points. So I feel like my season's just kind of... It might do, right? We've still got 4 game weeks to go. And a wildcard and a bench boost. But it feels like my season's kind of petering out a little bit. Like I was in and around the top 25k for ages. And now I've dropped to like 50k. And it could get worse. That's the thing. It won't necessarily get better. It could get even worse. Although I'm not expecting Crystal Palace to go and score another 5 goals. Is Brennan Johnson on your radar from 35 to 38? Maybe. I'm not sure people could talk me into Brennan Johnson enough, really. I think I'm more likely to go James Maddison, honestly. And I know people hate that thought because he's not been great recently. But I just think his minutes are absolutely assured. And with Brennan Johnson, that could change at some point. So, yeah, I'm not sure about Brennan Johnson. Right now, I'm not even completely sure I want to go for 3 Spurs, but I feel like I've got to because of the 2 doubles. I'm dreading the team I'm going to put together for Wildcard 35. It's not going to look great. If Eze and Elise were fit all season, where would Palace finish? I mean, they could push for top half, I guess. Yeah, I'd say so. Where are they right now? I can't remember. Like, would they push for Europe? Would they be doing what Villa are doing right now or Brighton did last season? I'm not sure about that, but they are both great. You'll be fine. All the different strategies converge as of next week. Yeah, but there's going to be subtle differences, right? Like some of the game weeks before game week 29, I did okay because I knew I had my free hit. Just like those people that had Newcastle players last week and free hit this week are absolutely smashing it. Yes, it's definitely a good... I'm glad I didn't bench boost. That would have been terrible. My bench is currently Neto 1 point, Zabani 0, Doughty -1. I'm literally from 3 players on my bench boost so far on 0 points. So I'm glad I didn't bench boost. One thing no one's really mentioned yet, probably because everyone's like on a high because of how good they're doing this week, is Haaland. Not in the squad at all for the FA Cup game. And I got to be honest, a couple of the in the know Man City accounts on Twitter that usually leak news obviously didn't leak anything about Haaland this week. They've sold or benched him, so I don't think he's going to be playing against Brighton. Now, for me, I don't mind so much if he completely misses out because obviously Zabani will come on, but that's looking terrible already. But if he comes on for a cameo, that's not great. I mean, I guess if he comes on for a cameo now, it probably wouldn't be the end of the world because I'm not expecting a Bournemouth clean sheet against Wolves anyway. But not good. Had we known that Haaland was probably going to be out, I may have gone for Mateta. Honestly, I mentioned that, didn't I? That I might have just gone for Mateta, bench Bradley, and just played Zabani, and I'd be up on points there as well. This week I need to get to tomorrow. Tomorrow everything will feel a little bit better, but today it just feels like you could probably call them almost 50-50 decisions. Just, if we'd known about Haaland, I would have bought Mateta in probably. I could have gone for Trent instead of Van Dijk. Could have got Pickford instead of Henderson. And now I've hit the mic in a rage, a fit of rage. So apologies for that, especially if you're on listening on podcast. I get Garnacho off the bench if he doesn't play. I hope he just rests. I mean, Garnacho played today, so there's no issues there in terms of disciplinaries. Triple captain Salah, yeah, that hurts. Absolutely hurts. Absolutely flying. I captained Eze, very nice. If you knew Sarabia wasn't starting, would you have started Palmer? No, I would have bought Elise. I considered that anyway, right? Because on Saturday deadline stream, I said there was stuff. There was from the press conference. Basically, he said that Sarabia had a groin issue, but that he trained all week, but that he wouldn't be able to play all 3 of these games. So I did consider Sarabia to Elise for a hit. If we'd known he was definitely not going to start the first game, I probably would have done it. I'm really trying to be careful about not, if I'd done all this stuff, I'd be doing great. But they genuinely felt like decisions I was pretty close to. But it is what it is. Cunha's been my best player. Yeah, and that's the thing. Loads of people would have picked Cunha this week. And because he got injured, they've gone for Mateta instead. And he's absolutely smashed it. So Cunha has a lot to answer for me. And there's probably some people that had to switch from Cunha to Mateta. And because that meant they got another Crystal Palace player and probably swapped Henderson to Pickford and jammed that as well. Best knee-jerk of 2024. I doubt it. I'm warm from the sun today. I've not watched enough football this weekend. I hate my score and my team. But there's still plenty of time. You know, I could still come out of this with a green arrow. Pickford said, to be honest, I don't care if Salah doesn't get points. He's so highly owned. It really doesn't matter. But yeah, if Pickford saved a penalty, that wouldn't be great. How many minutes did Garnacho get? I can't remember, to be honest. 65, 70 maybe? Where do you think you can/will finish overall rank wise? I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends where I finish this week, right? But I mean, I'm 50k now. I could probably get back to top 25k, but I doubt it now. I doubt it'll happen. We'll see. You benched Mateta. Why? I had that exact scenario. Cunha injury meant I went for Mateta, which meant I went for Pickford. Yeah, lots of people would have done that. Like that, it's such a fine line, isn't it? I mean, to be fair, right? Had Cunha been fit, maybe he would have done really well. Maybe that is the catalyst that Wolves needed to score against Arsenal. But it happens, right? But at the same time, you can. I mean, it's not fun when you're not on the right end of those kind of calls. But what can you do? You're on a free hit. You're going to react to the news, right? And the news was that Cunha was out, and therefore you get Mateta in. It made perfect sense. Perfect sense. I would have done exactly the same. How do I see Darwin for Wednesday? I mean, if he doesn't start, there's serious issues there. I mean, I did say I wasn't completely sure that him not starting against Atalanta was a good thing. Playing Zabani over 8 Nuri looked stupid in hindsight. He looked busy when he came on versus Arsenal. Yeah, possibly if he starts against Bournemouth, he could do well. But I'd probably have taken the 2 starts anyway. Didn't buy Mateta because I didn't want to bench Foden. Am I an idiot? No, especially if it was for a hit. Yeah, exactly. Cunha might have started. He might have wiped out the clean sheet, and then I'd have even less points because I would have lost the Gabriel and Saliba points. As a Liverpool fan, I think Darwin won't start. The front 3 will be Salah, Gakpo, Jota. Nah, I think there's no. I think it'll be Salah, Diaz, Darwin. Hang on, you're the same Liverpool fan that last week told me that Darwin could play left wing and it might be Diaz that would miss out. Honestly, I think the narrative of, the league is still on. He's going to just play everyone. It can get in the bin now. Obviously, the gap between games is not great. That's why Salah probably got benched. I don't think it was because of his performances. I think there's a chance that Darwin will start. Has to be a chance. Do you reckon Trent starts midweek? How many minutes did he play today? He didn't play the full game, did he? Did he come off around 75? I think he got subbed. Am I completely wrong? 79. I think he might play again, honestly. I think he might. Yeah. Which is just even more of a killer for going Van Dijk. I hope he doesn't, but I think he probably will. Liverpool play on Saturday as well in Game Week 35. Yes, and it's the early kickoff. Why did we not captain Eze? We are so stupid. I don't think it was stupid not to captain Eze. I think if you captain Eze, fair play, but I don't think it was stupid not to. I think if Trent feels good enough to play, I think he'll play. Basically, but we'll see. Did Az go through as a captain? No idea, to be honest. Do I have a wildcard 35 draft? I mean, like I said, this is my team for wildcard 35. I haven't really thought about it too much. Essentially, I think the my front three, I don't want to put too much thought into it because there's still stuff that could change. We've still got a lot of matches left this week. So like some teams haven't even played once yet. Like Newcastle, for example. But let's say that no one's suspended, no one's injured. I think my front three will be Haaland, Jackson, and Isak. But obviously, a lot depends on whether Haaland's even fit. If he's not, he might come out. Palmer would definitely be in. Let me just take all these players out. I'm gonna do a rough wildcard 35 draft now, but I'll do a video tomorrow where I've thought about it a little bit more. So Son will come back in for sure. I'm going to have Bruno Fernandes, I'm pretty sure. I think I'll have Philip Foden. And then I'll save the last midfield spot for now. In defence, I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep an Arsenal defender. It'll probably be Gabriel. I'm probably going to go for a Newcastle defender. And unless Trippier's fit, it's probably going to be Cher. I kind of want 3 Spurs. I think 3 Spurs is quite tricky right now because Udogie's out for the season, so it's just going to that takes out an option on wildcard, but it also makes Spurs weaker. Porro is a doubt. They're hopeful that he can be back for Arsenal, according to Paul O'Keefe is it Paul O'Keefe? I think it is on Twitter, but that's not a guarantee. So I might go for the goalkeeper and go for Vicario possibly, but that still leaves a third Spurs. It just feels wrong to wildcard into a double game week where they've got another one in 2 weeks and not have 3. It's horrible. Yeah, Anthony Gordon's the one people are going to go for, I think, as the 5th midfielder. I'm fairly tempted to go for Maddison and have the 3 Spurs that way. Yeah, maybe they're not worse defensively. I mean, Spurs' defence isn't that great anyway, and I don't know if I want double defence. This is basically one of the big dilemmas on wildcard: is do you go double Spurs defence or do you go double Spurs attack, or do you go for just 2 players? Right? There is a chance I might just go for 2 Spurs because I know everybody's going to go for Anthony Gordon. I can just see it already, and it's Sheffield United at home this week, and I don't know if I want to miss that. The other thing that's worth mentioning, by the way, I've still not got my new camera, so my camera is going to shut off at some point. Hopefully, my new one's coming tomorrow. And we won't have these issues. The other option is to use a transfer later on. So, for example, I'll probably bench Foden in Game Week 35. So I could just start without him, and just bring him in Game Week 37. But it's tough, right? Anyway, I think I might go for Ederson in goal. A lot. Just as a Man City option, because I think he'll play all the games until the league is over. And Liverpool and Arsenal both winning is good for Game Week 37, because it just keeps the pressure on a little bit longer. If Arsenal and Liverpool can both win midweek, then City needing points in Game Week 37 is almost certain. So I actually don't mind Ederson, despite the fact he's one of those players like Darwin Núñez, always terrible for me. But I think I'm going to have him. And then probably Dalot, maybe Harry Maguire. I think I'm going to have a second Man United in there. And I got to fill 2 more spots. So Gusto will probably be in there. I got to be honest, I don't think Gusto is going to make all 6 games. He just seems a bit fragile to me. Even in the game just gone, they took him off. I know he played on a little bit, but he seemed to almost pick up a little bit of an injury, then play on, and then they had to take him off. So I'm not sure about Gusto. I've got 4.9 million in the bank for another defender. So it could be Dan Burn. It could be double Newcastle defence. It could be, I don't know. Could be can't be Man City. Can't be Spurs. So Newcastle probably, or Harry Maguire, double Man United defence, but that seems pretty horrible. So something like that. But if Nicholas Jackson gets suspended tomorrow, I might not go for him. I might just skip him. I don't see me going for Van Heck, to be honest. You're almost tempted by Chilwell. I don't see it. You can't do double Newcastle defence because you need Gordon. Well, there's no space for Gordon with the 5 midfielders that I've picked. 6 doublers next week, benching no Newcastle. I think that way you've got to go for double Spurs defence, haven't you? So you've got to go for Vicario and Porro, or Vicario and whoever. Why can't you block a Newcastle spot? I'm confused. If I'm not going to go for Gordon in game week 35, I'm just not getting him. Who am I blocking a spot for? Like the decision to get Gordon is being made this week. I'm not going to worry about blocking a spot for Anthony Gordon. Like if we get to game week 38, I don't think Gordon against Brentford away is going to be my punt. Gordon can be suspended not Anthony Gordon. Jackson can be suspended still. If he gets a yellow card against Arsenal midweek, he's suspended for 2 games. Gordon versus Sheffield United could be a cricket score. Yeah, for what it's worth, I'm fully aware that Gordon is a good option, especially for Sheffield United at home. I completely get that. I understand he's good. But I might go for Maddison, which I know sounds stupid. But maybe I just bet against the crowd. But yeah, I could just go for Gordon. It could just be Gordon and a Spurs defender instead of Maddison and Burn. I don't know. Porro's messed things up, and so is Udogie. Wilson could be fun. If I got no interest in Callum Wilson. I don't think they're going to play Wilson and Isak together very often, and Isak's clearly first choice, even when Wilson's fully fit, which he's not. He's only just back in training. Trent on Wildcard's probably too expensive. If Haaland's out, the conversation changes completely. Is Nicholas Jackson really that good? No, but he's got 2 extra fixtures, and I know people will hate that and want to go for Watkins instead, but I'm definitely betting on it. I'm just hoping for the best. I like Maddison too. I just prefer Porro and Gordon if Porro is good to go. Yeah, and I probably will go that way. I probably will end up going that way. Just the thing is, again, I feel like I've got to go for 3 Spurs, but the double is not great, is it? Like, we all know that. It's Arsenal at home, Chelsea away. It doesn't feel great to have double defence for that. They are a bit easier to bench in game week 36. I told you Salah will only start 1 this game week for the Everton game. I think Gakpo, Jota and Salah will be the front 3. Nice. Hopefully you didn't captain Salah. I'm sure you didn't. No news on Trippier yet. Not much info on the ticker. No. Not really much news, I don't think. Triple Spurs and Chelsea is a huge trap. It could be, yeah. I'm definitely going for it. I don't mind Chelsea's double too much. Like Palmer's an obvious pick, you know. I mean, Villa away, Spurs at home is not bad for attackers. Nah, and Burmo's not quite so good now. He's not on penalties. Well, he actually is at the moment while Tony's out. My wild card's already active. Davies on the left instead of... No, I'm not going for Davies. We don't even know if it will definitely be him that plays. It could be Emerson Royale. I'm not going for Watkins. I'm not interested in Watkins at all. That feels like a player I'm just going to take on for the last few weeks. He could score every single week. I'm still going to not buy him. Am I missing something? Why are you not considering Richarlison? I mean, he's been injured for a while, and I'm not 100% confident on his minutes. One thing to say about Wildcard 35 is most of us will probably roll the transfer in 36. So if Richarlison's back, let's say I don't go for Richarlison and he starts both games in 35 and 36, I could bring him in game week 37 for Maddison. That's an option. If I don't go for the Gordon route. I know everyone wants to go Gordon though. It does feel almost wrong not to have him. I think if you could get through the Sheffield United home game with kind of not a huge amount of damage, then not having Gordon would be fine. But the problem is he could do enough damage in that one game that just makes you look stupid, and the red arrows will continue to happen. Look at that team and what your bench looks like. Yeah, but you've got to have a good bench if you're going to bench boost, right? No, there's no point in weakening your squad. You will lose rank without Gordon. But only if he smashes it. Burnley away right after Sheffield United game. Yeah, yeah. But I think Sheffield United at home's the real key one. Obviously, Burnley away is great too. Trent's probably not going to come in. I just can't afford Trent. Is the reality. I'd have to get rid of one of my expensive midfielders. De Bruyne is too expensive. He's not happening. Have something similar and think you can't bench boost if you're wildcarding this week. Watkins on 17 assists is absolutely mental. Yeah, it's a massive overperformance for Watkins on assists. That won't keep up long term. I mean, it might keep up this season, but next season that'll come back down. Do you know the player that the Watkins assists? So he's got 17 assists, right, from 3.9 expected assists. It's a massive overperformance. There's probably some fantasy assists in there as well. Do you know who it reminds me of? Jared Bowen when he scored 200 plus points. He got a lot of assists that were just like fantasy assists and stuff like that. And he just never kept it up. It will happen with Watkins will continue to score. Watkins will still score enough goals to be a great option, but he won't keep up these assists, I don't think. Yeah, 12 normal assists, but even 12 normal assists from 3.9 is very, very high, right? Like he'll still get assists next season, of course. It's not like he's going to get none, but I think they'll come down. Will Watkins be over 10 million next season? Well, he's on 217 points. Still 4 games to go for him. Could hit 250. I think he'd have to be close to 10. But honest, FPL is so rubbish with prices. They'll probably drop him 0.5 million. Watkins will probably be like 8.5. Honestly, FPL just underprice everyone. I'd have Watkins 10, 10.5, something like that. Maybe 10. You can use your transfer on Maddison after his first double to Gordon if you don't have injuries. Yeah, but if I go for Maddison, whoever I go for this week, I'm pretty much keeping till 37. I haven't made any transfers really, not for wildcard. All right, any other questions rather than going through the wildcard stuff anymore? Because I'm going to do a video on it tomorrow. And this is going to be a shorter stream than normal, I think. I'm going against Gordon too. Have to take risks. Yeah. The thing is, you can fall into a bit of a trap thinking that. Like, I might get a big red arrow this week and think, well, I've got to bet against the crowd even more. And then you just end up falling even more. Then, well, okay, in Game Week 37, I'm going to have to go even more differential. And it's just a constant... You're just constantly chasing when you shouldn't be. How do I bench Bruno and Dallo against Burnley at home? You don't have to bench them both if you don't want to. I'm not sure what you want me to tell you. You're building a wildcard draft for this week and your bench boost in 37. You're going to have good players on the bench. My advice, I guess, would be start getting over it right now. Someone good is going to be on your bench this week. Just hope that player... doesn't outscore whoever you start. So I think that Palmer will be higher priced than Watkins next season. Probably depends what points they both finish on. Probably not. Has picking Edison ever gone wrong before? Yes, but it's also gone okay at the end of the season. I think Edison's a perfectly good pick if the league stays open until Game Week 38. Is Palmer in my Game Week 1 draft for next season? Let's see. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on the fixtures, right? And everyone else's prices. I haven't really made any transfers yet. Vardiol, maybe one of the best City options in defence. Will he play all games? Probably not. Aside from Spurs, Chelsea, which team should I target for 35, 36, 38? I have free hit for 37. Oh, you're asking me a question I need to put some thought into, to be honest. Newcastle, Brentford away in 38. I mean, you still get Sheffield United and Burnley, so they're still worth looking at. To be honest, I don't think you're. I mean, I guess Arsenal and Liverpool. You're probably going for more Arsenal and Liverpool players at the end of the day. Yeah, lots of people saying don't go Jackson. I can tell you right now, Jackson's one of the players I'm kind of most sure about, if I'm honest with you. As long as he doesn't get suspended. Arsenal versus Bournemouth could be a killer for you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of Spurs fans that think Brennan Johnson's basically first choice now and it's his spot to lose. So you could take a punt on him. I'm not sure whether I'm willing to risk it. I have Maguire for Sheffield United. Is it stupid considering what we've watched today? Man United defence is not great, but Sheffield United at home is a really good fixture. And also the deadline's gone now, so I won't worry about it. When do I plan to make transfers this week? If there's players that I know I'm probably going to want, like Isak, and they look like going up in price, then I'll bring them in. But I don't want to, like, players like Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, I've got a lot of money kind of tied up in them. So I don't want to sell them before I'm absolutely sure I don't want them on Wildcard. Derby again is the FA Cup final. Can hope Man United win it. There's no chance Man United beating Man City. Udogie and Bradley injured means I have to play Van Heck this week. Would you do Udogie to Porro or just play Van Heck and get Bruno for the upside? I'd probably get Porro if he's fit, but he might not be. So wait for more news, I guess. With Van Heck, it's Bournemouth away. It's okay-ish. I wouldn't expect a clean sheet. I'd probably get Porro. Am I bench boosting with Gabriel in 37? Yeah, probably. I don't think I would have Gabriel all the way and then just sell him in 37. But I think he'll make my team better in 36 and 38. I might not even go Gabriel. I might go Ben White or something like that instead. Not 100%. Am I thinking about any Brighton players? I don't think there's room for growth. I think there's too many good midfielders. I probably won't go for a defender. Although, to be honest, I think the defender picks on Wildcard this week are pretty horrible in general. So there's a chance that I would go for a Dunk or a Van Heck, but probably not. So that really leaves just João Pedro, who I haven't completely ruled out, but I don't think he's better than Haaland, Isak, or Jackson. For me, the only reason for going for Jackson is his previous performance against Spurs. Yeah, but remember, Spurs were down to like 10 and 9 men in that game. And if you remember, it's the game where Spurs, even with 9 men, kept pushing up to the halfway line, that high line, right? And Spurs just constantly trying to get in behind. There's a few offsides there, and in the end, it just went their way. I can't remember if Jackson scored before the red cards, but it definitely helped. Gross and Douglas Luiz, two of the most underrated FPL players this season. I think Douglas Luiz has been very rated by a lot of people, to be honest. Not necessarily by me the whole time. Yeah, again, lots of people saying Jackson's rubbish. Just don't buy him. If you think that, you don't have to buy him. Can I afford Porro? I can if I go Gordon instead of Maddison. Honestly, my advice would be, if you feel that strongly about Nicholas Jackson, don't put him in your team. Leave him out. Thoughts on Dunk for bench boost 37? Look, he's going to play both games. He's got a bit of goal threat. I certainly don't hate him. I mean, the Brighton fixtures are Newcastle away and Chelsea at home. Doesn't scream clean sheets. But again, there's not many defenders in 37 with 2 games that are going to get 2 clean sheets. So there really isn't. It's not really about whether Jackson is rubbish. He is 100%, but he's a striker with 2 games. Yeah, it's not just 2. Yeah, it's 2 extra games. It's 2 double game weeks. Just feels like a player worth betting on. And there's just not too many options from Chelsea. That's the other thing. Can't you go Gordon over Bruno? I can, but I don't really want to. Maybe Aït-Nouri is a punt against Luton in 35 and Crystal Palace in 37. Again, no double game week. Fitness has been a little bit of an issue recently. Just no real interest in someone like Aït-Nouri. 2 Spurs assets is not worth it. I agree. That's why I'm going to go for 3. I have Bradley, Udogie, and Aït-Nouri. Who do I sell first? Well, I mean, Udogie's out for the season. Bradley could be back, although he's not going to play while Trent's around. But Udogie's out for the season, so that's pretty simple, I think. Plus, it frees up a Spurs slot if you want 3 of them later. The problem with picking a different Spurs defender to Porro, like Davies or Emerson Royale, is we're not sure who's going to play, and you're not going to see Spurs play before the deadline, so it's just not worth it. If you're not going to go for Porro or he's not fit, I think you've got to go for like Romero or Van der Ven. Højlund's potentially an option, but the thing is that he's not better than Haaland or Isak, and Nicholas Jackson's got just the extra game. That's pretty much it for me. I don't mind Højlund at all. And if Jackson was suspended, there's a chance I might go there if I don't have 3 other United players. I think 2 is probably the maximum Man United I'm going to have. Fernandes plus either Dalot or Onana. I don't see me going for Garnacho. Like, he's fine, but I'm probably not going to go for him. I'd love for Ahmad to get some good minutes. He'd be a great differential. I just don't think you can rely on that. That's a lot of money in goalkeepers. Yeah, but remember, it's only 4 weeks left now, and I'm on a bench boost. Like, you're probably picking Vicario, Edison, Onana, or maybe Petrovic. So you're going to spend a bit of money on goalkeepers if you're wildcarding. Højlund hasn't returned since game week 25. Yeah, but people said similar stuff about Bruno before game week 28, and he scored or assisted most weeks since then. Captain for 35, probably Palmer. Does Palmer get his shirt on the wall next season? We'll see. We'll see. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Nice, short and sweet stream today. Lots of videos to come this week. Obviously, lots of Wildcard 35 chat. I'm going to do a Wildcard 35 video tomorrow. There'll be a chance for you to get questions in on the Game Week preview as well, plus final thoughts. So anything I've missed, I will be sure to answer. I'll have a bit more of a think about what my draft might look like, but I don't think it's going to be far off the one you see on screen now. Does Salah or Saka come back into the team in 38? Not thought about it enough. Salah, probably not. I don't think I'm going to have a good way to get Salah. Saka maybe, but a lot will depend on how the league is looking. I think it's worth remembering that Man United have got Brighton last game, Spurs have got Sheffield United, Chelsea have got Bournemouth, and Man City have got, I want to say Wolves, but I could be wrong, West Ham. So Saka and Salah are obviously great, but there are going to be some good fixtures for most of these players in 38. So we'll see. Saka maybe. I think Salah might be a bit too much money. Because that's the thing with like expensive goalkeepers and stuff. The money's kind of shared around the squad. But we'll see. Anyway, thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed that, make sure to give it a like. Hit that subscribe button. Sorry it was a little bit, there's a bit of uncertainty about whether I was even going to do the stream. And now it's a little bit shorter than normal. But we'll be back to normal for the rest of the videos this week and all the streams next weekend as well. So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed your weekend. I've hit the mic again. Apologies if you're wearing headphones listening on podcast. I'm all over the place tonight. But thanks for listening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your week. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. I'll catch you again soon. And I've forgotten to press the end stream button. I'll see you soon.